All right, today we're going to dive into the epic story of our earliest ancestors. It's a journey that goes back millions of years, all taking place in a time defined by a single powerful material, stone. So let's get right into it. I mean, just try to picture it for a second. No books, no cities, definitely no smartphones. Your entire world, everything you do, is shaped by what you can make with your own two hands from the world around you. And well, that was just reality for about 99% of human history. So this huge chunk of time, we call it prehistory. And because there's no writing, we can't just, read a history book about it. Nope. Instead, we have to become detectives. We have to rely on archaeologists and anthropologists to piece together this story from the clues left behind, bones, tools, and artifacts buried deep in the earth. Now, the Stone Age is just gigantic. It's so long, we actually have to break it down to even make sense of it. The best way to think about it is like a three-act play. First, you have the Palaeolithic, the Old Stone Age, then the Mesolithic, or Middle Stone Age, and finally, the Neolithic, the New Stone Age. And trust me, each of these acts is a massive leap forward for humanity. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. Act 1, before history began. We're going back millions of years to a time of unbelievable challenges, but also incredible discovery. I mean, can you just feel the goosebumps in that quote? That's the anthropologist Donald Johanson, and he's talking about the moment in 1974 when he discovered Lucy. Lucy was an Australopithecus who lived over 3 million years ago, and her skeleton proves something absolutely revolutionary. Our ancestors were walking on two legs way, way earlier than anyone had thought. See, Lucy was part of this big, sprawling family tree of hominids, our early ancestors. And what's so amazing is you can see this clear progression over millions of years. You start with Australopithecus, the southern ape. Then comes Homo habilis, the handyman, who, you guessed it, made the first tools. After him, Homo erectus, the upright man, who mastered fire. And then finally, around 200,000 years ago, Homo sapiens, wise man, shows up on the scene. Hey, that's us. Just look at the jump in brain size. You can literally watch the evolution happen on this chart. All right, that brings us to Act 2, the Age of Survival. This is the Paleolithic era, and folks, this is the big one, the longest stretch by a mile. And for all those millions of years, life came down to just one fundamental challenge: survival. So what was the solution? It wasn't some complex machine, no. It was a simple, brilliant, world-shattering idea. Take an object, in this case a rock, and change it to make it useful. In other words, a tool, just a rock with a sharp edge. And with that one idea, everything changed. If you're a gamer, you'll get this right away. It's like a technology tree. You start with the first item, the chopper, a basic stone for scraping and cutting. Once you master that, boom, you unlock the next level, the hand axe. It's sharper, more precise. And from there, you get the real upgrade, the spear. You attach that stone point to a stick, and suddenly, the whole game is different. You're not just scavenging anymore, you're a long-distance hunter. Okay, so we've got tools. What's the next great leap forward? Fire. Now, early humans probably found fire all the time from things like lightning strikes. But capturing it, taming it, learning how to control it, whoa, that was an absolute game changer. It meant warmth, it meant protection from predators, and, maybe most importantly, it meant you could cook food, which unlocks all sorts of nutrients that helped fuel our growing brains. So think about it. You've got better tools, you've got the safety of fire. So what happens next? Something incredible. Society is born. People start forming small hunter-gatherer groups, and right away we see the first signs of culture. Language starts to develop so people can coordinate. Art, beautiful, stunning art, appears on cave walls. And maybe the most profound thing of all, we find the first graves, where people are buried with objects, suggesting they had some idea of an afterlife. All right, on to our next act. This one is all about transition. The last ice age finally ends, the glaciers retreat, the world completely changes, and humans had to adapt. Welcome to the Mesolithic era. So this period is kind of a bridge, It connects the old world with what's coming next. As big forests spring up, the animals change, so the tools have to change too. They get smaller, more precise, things like arrowheads. We see brand new technologies like the canoe, which opens up a whole new world of fishing. And a partnership is born. We domesticated our first animal by making friends with the less aggressive wolves, and we got dogs. A pretty good invention, right? And now for the grand finale of the Stone Age, the farming revolution. This is the Neolithic era, and it is the most dramatic, game-changing shift we've seen yet. Because the goal wasn't just survival anymore. It was about creating stability for the very first time. So what was the one innovation that made it all possible? Farming. And I am not exaggerating when I say this might be the single most important breakthrough in all of human history. It's the simple but genius realization that, hey, instead of wandering around looking for food, what if we just grew it ourselves? But listen, farming wasn't just about food. Oh no, it kicked off this incredible chain reaction of change. If you can grow your own food, you don't have to wander anymore. You can build permanent settlements. For the first time ever, you can have a food surplus. You can store grain for later. That frees people up to do other jobs, to be leaders or builders or priests. And if you have extra stuff, you can trade it. And right there, that is the blueprint for civilization itself. So let's bring it all home. Let's talk about our Stone Age legacy. After these millions of years of struggle and innovation, what does it all mean for us, right here, right now? I want you to let this number really sink in for a second. 99%. The Stone Age makes up roughly 99% of the entire time humans have existed. Everything we think of as history, the Roman Empire, the pyramids, the Renaissance, the internet, all of it is just the tiny, tiny tip of an iceberg built on this massive, ancient foundation. Ultimately, when you boil it all down, the whole story comes back to this one simple, powerful idea. From that first deliberate act of shaping a stone to serve a purpose, every single other human innovation followed. It was the spark that lit the fire of all human ingenuity. And so I'll leave you with this final thought. The most fundamental tools we developed in the Stone Age weren't just made of rock, were they? They were concepts, community, technology, and art. The need to work together, the drive to innovate, and that deep desire to express ourselves and tell our story. So think about it. How do those ancient tools still shape our modern world?